Hey everyone, welcome back to Practice English with Podcasts. I'm Emma, and today I'm super excited because we have a really good friend here with us. Someone I've known for a while now. His name is Zen. We met a few years ago in an English learners group online, and honestly, he was one of the most motivated people there. Zen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey Emma, thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here. I can't believe it's been that long since we met.
Yeah, I know. I remember those days perfectly. We were both struggling with grammar and pronunciation, right?
Oh yeah, that was a nightmare sometimes. I used to mix up sheet and shit all the time. People laughed, but I just kept trying.
Yeah, that's a classic mistake. But I love that you didn't give up. You always had that, I'm gonna get better no matter what attitude.
Thank you. I think that's something every learner needs. Patience. I was so nervous when I had to speak English at work for the first time.
Right. I totally get that. For me, it was when I had to make my first phone call in English. My hands were literally shaking.
Same here. But, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like, little by little, it stops being scary.
Exactly. That's what I always tell people. You can't wait to be perfect before you start speaking. You just need to start.
Totally. And that's why I was excited to be on this podcast. Because today, I want to share a few tips that really helped me on my English journey.
Yes, that's what we're all waiting for. But before we jump into that, I want to ask, how long have you been learning English, Zen?
I started seriously about 6 years ago. Before that, I only knew a few basic words from songs or movies. Like hello, thank you, sorry. But 6 years ago, I decided to take it seriously.
Wow, 6 years. That's awesome. And now you sound so natural. People would never guess that English isn't your first language.
That means a lot, thank you. It took me a long time to get here, though. Many mistakes, lots of frustration, but also lots of fun.
That's the part I like. Fun. People forget that learning English doesn't have to be boring. You can enjoy it.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I want to talk about later. How enjoying the process makes everything easier.
Oh, I love that already. Okay, Zen. I think our listeners are ready. So let's do it. Let's talk about your 5 tips to learn English perfect.
Sure. These are things that really changed how I learn. And I think they can help anyone who's listening right now.
Take it away, Zen.
All right, let's start with the first one.
So before we dive into your tips, I just want to say something. I really love that we're doing this topic today because, learning English can feel like a huge mountain to climb. People start and stop so many times because they don't see fast results. But what really makes the difference are the strategies you use, the little things you do every day that slowly build your confidence. That's why I think it's so important that we talk about real tips, things that actually worked for someone like you, Zen. When I started, I remember following every single English app, grammar book, and YouTube channel I could find. But the problem was that I never really knew what worked for me. I just copied what others were doing. And after a while, I realized that everyone learns differently. For some people, it's grammar, for others, it's listening, or maybe conversation. So today, I hope that people listening to us can take what you're going to share and think, okay, maybe that's something I can try too. Because it's not just about English, it's about building habits, about feeling more confident every time you speak.
Exactly, Emma. That's the thing. I think sometimes people think there's one magic formula to learn English fast, but there really isn't. It's more like a combination of small habits and mindset changes. So, let's go with the first one. My first tip, and I'd say it's the most important, is consistency over perfection. When I started, I was obsessed with doing things perfectly. I wanted to sound like a native speaker right away. I wanted to know every grammar rule. And when I made mistakes, I felt embarrassed, like I wasn't good enough. But after some time, I realized that the real progress came from doing a little bit every day, even if it wasn't perfect. I remember waking up early before work just to watch one short video in English, or listen to a short podcast on my way to the bus. It wasn't much, but it kept my brain connected to the language. Even when I was tired, even when I didn't have time, I still tried to do something small. And after a few months, I noticed that I understood more. I could say things faster, more naturally. People underestimate how powerful that is. You don't need 5 hours a day. You just need consistency. You need to tell yourself, okay, today I'm going to do something small, but I'm going to do it. That's how fluency grows, not in one big jump, but little by little, step by step.
That's so true. I love that. It's like working out, right? You don't get fit after one day at the gym. You need to keep showing up.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. I always tell people that English is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak. But if you use it every day, even for 10 minutes, it grows stronger. So yeah, that's my first tip. Consistency over perfection. Now, my second tip, this one changed the game for me, is thinking in English. I used to translate everything in my head. Every sentence, every word. Like if someone said, "What's up?" I had to stop and think, okay, in my language that means, hmm. And by the time I answered, the conversation was already over. So one day, I decided to stop translating. I started small. I told myself, okay, when I'm walking, I'll describe things in English, like, that's a red car, or I'm going to the store. Just simple thoughts. It felt weird at first, but after a few weeks, it became natural. The funny part is, when you start thinking in English, you make fewer mistakes because your brain stops switching between languages. You start to feel the language, not just study it. That's when real fluency begins. When you stop asking yourself how to say something and just say it.
That's amazing. I remember the first time I tried that. It was so weird. My brain wanted to translate everything back and forth. But it really helps, especially when you start using simple thoughts like you said.
Yes, exactly. You don't need to think about complicated ideas at first, just the basics. Over time, your mind gets used to it, and suddenly you realize you can form sentences faster. And that gives you confidence.
That's such a good one, Zen. I think a lot of people listening right now are probably thinking, I do that too. I translate everything.
Yeah, and I hope they try it. It might feel strange in the beginning, but it's so worth it.
So it's really good advice. Those first two tips were so good, Zen. I love that you focused on consistency and thinking in English. So now, let's wrap this up. Tell us about the rest of your tips, because I know everyone listening is probably taking notes right now.
All right, let's go for it. So, my third tip is surround yourself with English. That means making English a part of your daily life, not just during study time. Change your phone to English, watch movies and shows with English subtitles, listen to English music, read short posts or articles online. The idea is to make English feel normal. You stop seeing it as a school subject and start living with it. When your brain hears and sees English all the time, it gets used to the rhythm, the sounds, the patterns, and that makes speaking and understanding so much easier. My fourth tip is speak out loud every single day. Even if you have no one to talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, retell what you watched, or imagine a short conversation. When you speak out loud, you train your mouth, your tongue, your pronunciation. You also train your brain to form sentences faster. I used to practice while washing dishes or walking to work, just talking to myself in English. People thought I was crazy, but it worked. And finally, my fifth tip. This one is emotional. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Seriously, mistakes are proof that you're learning. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. I used to be so scared of speaking in front of others because I didn't want to sound stupid. But the moment I accepted that mistakes are part of the journey, everything changed. I started learning from them instead of hiding from them. Every time you make a mistake, you get one step closer to fluency. So if you're listening right now and you feel nervous about speaking English, just remember, nobody started perfect. Not even native speakers. The only difference is that they kept talking, and you can too.
That's such a beautiful way to end it, Zen. I couldn't agree more. Mistakes are how we grow, and every small step matters. Thank you so much for sharing your 5 amazing tips. I'm sure everyone listening today learned something new. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Remember, practice every day, be patient, and enjoy the process.
Thank you, Emma. It was great being here.
You're listening to Practice English with Podcasts. See you in the next episode.